We are tracking Hurricane Isaias as it tracks through the Bahamas towards South Florida. By this time tomorrow, we could be seeing this beginning to affect the east side of Florida itself, and this is how we say Isaias.
It's Isaias, all right?
Isaias.
So,
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, July 31st. It's going to be August tomorrow, 2:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are watching Hurricane I, which is what I'm going to call it from now on. You guys heard the pronunciation. I think that's all we need for now. But our update right now, we are between 75 and 80 miles per hour, 991 millibars of pressure in the centralized area of this hurricane, which is tracking through the Bahamas right now towards South Florida. Hurricane and tropical storm warnings all over the Bahamas, and this is now including the eastern side of Florida, as we're expecting this storm to really start making effects on South Florida, that is, and the northern part of the Bahamas by Saturday morning, probably even sooner based on the speed this storm is traveling, which is about 16 miles an hour in a northwestern direction. As you can see here, the cone of uncertainty is starting to hook this thing to the north. That pressure in the Bermuda Atlantic is letting loose, and that is why we're trying to determine where along the coast of Florida, if any part, will be hit. It's looking like the southeastern tip of Florida all the way up past Lake Okeechobee is under that watch for right now. And looking at the current updates as far as the rainfall, we could be seeing anywhere from 4 to 7 to even 5 to 9 inches of rain in this central part of Florida right here, in the central part of the storm, I should say. You can see the higher impact areas are right along the middle of the storm's path, keeping it just off the coast of Florida. Let's hope it stays that way. No such luck for the Bahamas, obviously, but now we are looking towards Florida and then possibly the Carolinas, as it looks like it's going to skim up and possibly skip any sort of landfall with Georgia or South Carolina, hopefully. But for those in Florida, I would definitely take this storm as if it's going to be a Category 1 landfall on the east side of Florida, which is what it's looking like, according to at least a good chunk of the spaghetti plots. Regardless of where this storm lands, if it's Florida or if it kind of skips over this area and gets to the Carolinas first, it's going to affect the east side of Florida as a tropical storm in that sense of force and storm surge and things like that. So we will see coastal flooding regardless of whether the landfall is in Florida or if it's South Carolina, North Carolina, or if it misses altogether. That would be nice if the thing hooked back into the Atlantic Ocean, but it looks like we're going to be dealing with this for the next 3 to 4 days, possibly even longer as it tracks up to the east coast. We're also going to give these invests right here a little time to develop and see what we have as far as they go. The west coast of Africa is producing wave after wave of these storms now. This disturbance right here, 30% chance over the next 5 days. Looks like it's going to hook underneath the path of Hurricane I and track into the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have another disturbance out here, 20% chance of cyclone formation over the next 5 days, just coming off the west coast of Africa now. The radar loop here at weather.cod.edu is showing that northwestern track as the storm makes it through the southern area of the Bahamas, and now it's tracking up towards Florida. We can kind of get the momentum of where it's going to go. Again, it's all based on the jet stream pressure and the Bermuda Atlantic pressures basically working together to allow this storm to come north at this point. So we have a high jet stream, we have a pullback in the Bermuda Atlantic towards the east, which is allowing the storm to now come up north and make that hook we've been waiting for. Zooming in now, we get a little bit more of an idea on the speed of this. This is about an 18-hour chart, so we can see how much ground this storm has covered in that amount of time. And if we move along till current time, we can see how that 16-mile-an-hour directional movement is serious, and it's really making the storm move. Had this thing been slower, I honestly believe it would be a stronger storm. Some of the charts are still showing the possibility of a Category 2. Based on these intensity guidance charts here, we can see a lot of the plots are keeping it as a Category 1, which it is right now. And then we got 1, there was 2 about 20 minutes ago that bring it up to a Cat 2. We got to see how much room and how much water the eye of the storm, if you want to call it, even though we can't really see the physical eye of this storm, we have a really good idea of where it is, and we can kind of track it right where my mouse is right now. So basically what we're watching is to see how long the central area of this storm is going to be over water and not interacting with land. So currently right now, besides these little tiny speck islands down here, this thing's basically over open water and warm water too. So the initial idea here is that this storm is going to strengthen into a stronger Category 1. Whether it's going to transfer into that Category 2 area is up for debate, but regardless, we are dealing with a hurricane here heading towards South Florida. So that's what you guys need to keep in your heads for the most part. And then, of course, we need to track this into the Carolinas and the southeast part of the United States as a whole. But the point here I'm trying to make is that the longer this thing's over water, the more chances it has of strengthening or continuing to stay as strong as it is as it's moving in this direction, which is fairly quickly, 16 miles an hour. And finally, before I let you guys go, Vent2Sky here on the GFS model has this thing basically right off the east coast of Florida. By tomorrow at this time, around 2 p.m. tomorrow, we could see this storm right off the coast of Florida, basically parallel with Miami. Now, you got to give or take a little bit on this because of the speed it's moving. If it slows down a little bit, we could see the storm back here a little bit. Or if it speeds up, we could see it up a little farther. And we got to take into account the pressure in the Bermuda Atlantic, which could pull this storm into the ocean more, or the pressure coming in to the southeast would actually push the storm to the west and into Florida more. So still a lot to look out for, guys, which is why I'm going to be reporting on this throughout today and obviously tomorrow leading up to when we may see a landfall. We don't know yet. But hunker down, my friends, especially in Florida. Be prepared for this and keep your local radio on or local news stations to cover the track of this storm. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back a little bit later. I hope everyone's safe. Questions or comments, please leave below. Shout out to Canada.